Welcome to K9 Boxing. Today is Monday. Yes, what's on my mind Monday? And what's on my mind is who is pound for pound number one. Now, many people said, many people said that, you know, Crawford was number two. Some people said number one. Lomachenko, a lot of people said he was number one. But with him losing to Teofimo Lopez, do that make Teofimo Lopez number one, number two? Because number one, number two was either Crawford or was either Crawford. Yeah. Why not? Is it on? Start it back. Start it back.
You lied. Go.
The wifey had to give me some more, some Vaseline. Hey, look. So, who is number one? Like I said, Teofimo Lopez just beat. He just beat Teofimo Lopez just beat Vasily Lomachenko. Vasily Lomachenko was either number one or number two. He can't be number one because number one is Crawford. He can't be number two because he just lost to Teofimo Lopez. So, where is he at? Is he in the top 10? Top 15? I don't know. But my list on who's number one pound for pound is Crawford. Terrence Crawford, who was probably number one pound for pound in the first place. Number two is Canelo Alvarez. Now, I'm talking about accomplishments, too. Right now, I'm talking about accomplishments. So, y'all might be saying, okay, now, are you crazy on who I have in my top five as pound for pound? But I'm talking about accomplishments. Number one, Crawford. No one has beat him. He's beating everybody he's got in the ring with. He's number one. Canelo is number two. Canelo is a cash cow. Right now, ever since Floyd retired, he's a cash cow. I have to say he's number two. Number three, I would probably say it's between Manny Pacquiao and Tyson Fury. But I would just say Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury because he beat Deontay Wilder. And I didn't think he was going to beat Deontay Wilder. And he did. Jermell Charlo. That's right, Jermell Charlo. He has all the belts except the WBO belt in the Dream Middleweight division. Now, I can't say I'm a fan of Jermell Charlo, but I can say he has accomplished a whole lot in the division I used to do my thing in. That's right, because I won 2 world titles in the Dream Middleweight division. But Jermell Charlo has took all the belts except the WBO belt, so you have to put him in the top 5. I'm talking about as far as accomplishments now. Accomplishments. And Teofimo Lopez. He just beat the man who beat the man who beat the man. So how can you not put Teofimo Lopez in the top 5? This man wants all the smoke. He ain't just barking just to be barking. He barking and biting. And when Vasily Lomachenko stepped to the plate, he beat him. In a fight that I thought that actually, I ain't gonna lie to you, I thought that he wasn't going to win. I thought maybe it was a little too soon for him to be trying to fight Lomachenko. But that just lets you know it's all about timing. And he fought Vasily Lomachenko at the right time. At the right time. Vasily Lomachenko hasn't fought in over a year. And he's a little older. You would say 32. It ain't that old, okay, now. You 47 about to fight in November. Yeah, I'm a young 47. See what I'm saying? I started boxing late. But Vasily Lomachenko started boxing a long, long time ago. And he had a gang of amateur fights. Remember, I only had 10 amateur fights. Lomachenko, I think he had he had the best record in amateur history. He was like, 350-1? Y'all do the homework. But he lost one fight, but he had a gang of amateur fights. I'm talking about for sure over 200-300 amateur fights. And Teofimo Lopez beat him. So he is in my top 5. Now, you would wonder, you would say, well, if he beat someone that's top number 2 or number 1, why isn't he number 1, number 2? This when styles make fights come into play. See, styles make fights. You can have someone that isn't even that good beat someone that's good, but lose to somebody that ain't that good. You know why? Because styles make fights. Teofimo Lopez had the right style in beating Vasily Lomachenko. Even though he would probably go out there and lose to some of the fighters that Lomachenko would beat. But it's styles. Styles make fights. So Monday, what's on my mind Monday? Pound for pound, who's the best fighter in the world? Now, to be honest, when people say, who is the greatest? I say the greatest is whoever you like. Some people might say, I'm the greatest. Yes, my son said I'm the greatest. My wife say I'm the greatest, and that's their opinion. Some might say Mike Tyson is the greatest. That's their opinion. Some people, a lot of people say Sugar Ray Robinson is the greatest. Some people, a lot of people say Muhammad Ali is the greatest. And guess what? It's their opinion. Some people might think that Oscar De La Hoya is the greatest. I'm quite sure his wife thinks that, and his kids think that. So it's all about preference. It's whoever you prefer. If you prefer your cousin is the best fighter in the world, that's your opinion. Whoever you feel like is the best fighter in the world. Now, one of my favorite fighters to watch was Roy Jones. So if you ask me who I thought was the best fighter that ever fought, who I saw with my own eyes in the time and the days that I'm alive, in these days and times, I mean, he's not as good as he was then, of course, because time done caught up with him. And when your speed leave you, and that's what you rely on, then guess what? A lot of things gonna leave you. So I'm saying Roy Jones. Roy Jones was the best fighter I ever saw. And that's my opinion. I don't care who he got knocked out by, who he lost to. Guess what? Styles make fights. I just believe that he made the wrong decision in fighting Antonio Tarver, someone who wanted to fight him so bad. Antonio Tarver probably couldn't beat this guy, probably couldn't beat that guy, but he knew if I fight Roy Jones, I will beat him. And his mind was set on fighting Roy Jones. Just like my mind was set on fighting Floyd Mayweather. Now guess what? Styles make fights, just like I told you. I would have beat Floyd Mayweather. You can say what you want to say, but because of the style. See, I got that power. When I beat Corey Spinks, I walked up to Floyd Mayweather and I said, what's up, Floyd? And Floyd gave me the Heisman Trophy hand, like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, why did he do that? Styles make fights. All that rolling your shoulder, the shoulder roll, it wouldn't have helped him against me. Styles make fights. So I would definitely beat Floyd Mayweather because of the style. Now, he might have way more skills than me. He might be TBE to himself and to whoever. But styles make fights. So that's what's on my mind Monday, for sure. Let me read some of these comments, see what y'all talking about. So if you're doing it just by accomplishment, then AJ has to be on that. And you say, well, AJ would be on there, but he lost to Andy Ruiz Jr. And I know Styles make fights, but when you lose to someone that, if you saw that guy because of the way he looked, you'd have thought that he was Butterbean's cousin. And when he lost, that to me, it took the stock down a whole lot. Remember, this boxing, this ain't UFC, where a person can lose a fight and people say, come on, dude, and they still with you. No, if you lose one fight, the fans will change on you and turn on you quickly in the boxing game. AJ's a good fighter. AJ has skills. He has great potential. I really think that he needs someone over here in America to train him. Emmanuel Stewart was great at training heavyweights. Emmanuel Stewart, to me, was the greatest trainer of all time in my eyes. If Emmanuel Stewart was alive and trained Anthony Joshua, oh my goodness. Now you say, USYK, because I can't pronounce his name and I don't want to drag it in the mud. He's definitely a great fighter. but I think he might be a little too small to be fighting heavyweight. Like, hold on, let me finish reading these comments. Crawford has more trophies, I agree, but I also, who is the best? They must fight to find out. That's true too. Do you think Loma was exposed? Well, I can't really say Loma was exposed. I think not only did his opponent Teofimo Lopez beat him, but I think time did too. When you're an older fighter, you got to stay in the ring at all times. You got to stay busy. You got to stay hungry. I don't think that Vasily Lomachenko was getting up for Teofimo Lopez like Teofimo Lopez got up for him. Just as like when I fought Charlo, I didn't get up for Charlo like Charlo got up for me. I was used to making money. I was used to being a world champion. That was my second time I had won a world title. But he was hungry. He was focused. See what I'm saying? So when you got these guys that's in your rearview mirror trying to get in the front seat, they can beat you. They can beat you because they're hungrier. And especially if you ain't fighting every day or every week or every month, or you only fight once a year. So you have to stay busy. You got to know it's always somebody that want what you got. Always. We are forgetting to mention Sugar Shane Mosley. Oh, Sugar Shane Mosley, a beast, Tim. Definitely one of my favorite fighters. He in my top three is one of my favorite fighters. Right now, my favorite fighter is my son. But before my son, my favorite fighters were Mike Tyson, Roy Jones, and Sugar Shane Mosley. Lennox beat everybody. Yeah, Lennox did beat everybody. Lennox is one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. Lennox was a beast. Definitely. You sick. That's how everybody said. I guess. Yeah, Clarissa Shields, definitely. That's going to be a good fight. I think Clarissa Shields is going to be whoever she get in the ring with, as long as it's a female. Because I know she was talking about that she could beat men. But I think she, should stick with fighting females. But, yeah, she's definitely ahead of the game. And she has really took women's boxing, female boxing to a high level, a whole nother level, especially with all that experience, all that exposure she's getting from Showtime. Demetrius Salita is doing a great job with her. And she is taking the torch and she's running with it. Now, will her and Layla Ali ever fight? I doubt it. But, you know what I'm saying? What would have been great is for her to fight Layla Ali on the Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones undercard. Oh, man. That would have been classic. Even though Layla Ali, haven't fought in a minute and she would be the favorite, you know what I'm saying? But it just would be good for us name-wise, name recognitions. You got Ali versus Shields. You got Roy Jones versus Mike Tyson. And you got, I think, the young man last name is Logan. Logan's finna fight against the little basketball player. What's the little basketball player name? SB? Nate Robinson. Nate Robinson. So that, hey, a lot of names. It's all about the celebrities, Let's see, all right. Oh, thanks, champ. I got you. You good. Yeah. Yeah, Bozy was great. Yeah, definitely was great. What is your personal opinion on Arturo Gatti? Arturo Gatti was a beast. I don't think he ever became world champion, but he had cojones. He had those boys. Listen, he would fight any and everybody. He was great for the sport. To me, he reminds me of a UFC fighter. Every fight he has is going to be entertaining. Not only him, but Diego Corrales is another one of those guys. Mickey Ward was another one of those guys. I mean, you got some guys who never won world championships, but did real good. I'm talking about real good, did excellent. What do you think about Triple G? I think Triple G should actually move up and weight because, when you get older, you know what I'm saying, you got to do different things. And he's kept that weight down at 160 for a long time. I think that if he fought 168, he'll be stronger and he'll actually be able to, win some more big fights. It's going to be hard to be able to be at your best at 160 when you're probably kind of killing yourself to make 160. And he's a big 160. I mean, even when he sparred Tony Harrison, and Tony Harrison was fighting 154, and he was fighting 160, he had Tony Harrison wearing the real protector. That's to let you know how big the guy is. The guy can easily walk around weighing 200 some pounds. He probably does walk around weighing 200 some pounds, and he could actually prolong his career if he was to move up or just fight the right fights because he does have a big name. Yeah, Jorge Paez, he was good too, definitely. Victor Ortiz and Arturo Gatti champ, so I'm excited. Yeah, definitely. Victor Ortiz, yeah, Victor Ortiz. Victor Ortiz had a lot of potentials, but he didn't pan out and end up being what people thought he was going to be, or we thought he was going to be himself. Haney versus Tio, who wins? That is going to be a good fight. I would have to see both guys right next to each other and seeing who's the bigger guy. But that would be a good fight. I wouldn't mind seeing that fight ASAP. Yeah, shout out to Boys Stable Central. Shout out to Boys Stable Central at K9 Boxing. Yeah, Spence versus Garcia. That's going to be a good one. Only reason why I have Spence probably on my pound for pound list is two reasons. One, I wasn't thinking about him at the time, but he definitely, if he comes back and he beats Garcia, man, I might have to really think about putting him number one. Because you go and have a car accident, almost lose your life, and come back and fight one of the top guys. That reminds me of when Tyson Fury gained all that weight and came back and fought Deontay Wilder. Well, nobody knocking at Deontay Wilder's door. Deontay Wilder has the greatest knockout percentage in heavyweight history. He knocked 41 guys out of 42 wins. Let me rewind that. He knocked out 42 guys out of 41 wins. So for Tyson Fury to take on the boogeyman and beat him, that's why Tyson Fury is on my top 5 list. And if Errol Spence can go out there and beat Danny Garcia after having an accident, he didn't take no easy fight coming back. He said, did y'all see the photos? Go look at the photos on the photo he took right after the car accident. His lip was all messed up. I was all messed up. He got all his teeth took out. Man, listen. If he beat Danny Garcia, I wouldn't care if he beat him just by decision. He going to be back on the top 5 list for me. You know what I mean? For real, for real. I don't know if we'll ever see Crawford or Spence Jr. I mean, hopefully we do. Hopefully Errol Spence is Errol Spence. The Errol Spence that we saw and even better. Because then it's going to be worth us seeing him fight Terrence Crawford if it ever happened. The business is really messing up boxing to a certain extent because you got, Al Heyman has all his fighters. You got Top Rank who has all their fighters. And you got DAZN who has their fighters. And if the promoters or the managers don't agree with each other or don't get along with each other, then we're not going to see these fights. Unless the fighters demand it. Because the fighter at the end of the day is the boss. If his contract says he's the boss. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes the contract don't say you the boss. And a lot of fighters don't read their contract. They just sign anything and say, I'll fight whoever. And guess what? Game over. And that's the reason why we don't see some of these fights. Because some of these fighters are really not the boss. I think Canelo can beat anybody he steps in the ring with. Because first of all, Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya, matches him up right. He put him in there with Kovalev. At the time, Kovalev wasn't the same. At the time, Kovalev was drinking and driving probably. And he put him in there and made him lose all that weight. So he wasn't strong like he would have been. And you see what happened. He got knocked out. That's right, Kovalev got knocked out. Oscar De La Hoya, to me, is definitely in the top 2 or top 3 best promoters in the world. Absolutely. Well, there you go. On Monday, what's on my mind? Yes, on Monday, that's on my mind. I'll let y'all. Hey, look, we got some more comments. I just love boxing, man. I hope y'all love boxing. Keep supporting boxing because boxing is one of the greatest sports ever. No, it is the greatest sport ever. Yeah. It's the greatest sport ever, man. So keep supporting boxing. Keep supporting my page. Make sure if you haven't subscribe to my channel. Like this video. Share this video. Or share this live with someone, man, God bless y'all. Yeah, y'all stay up. And I'm signing out. Until next time, peace at K-Man Boxing.